Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In this video, we are talking Analog 3D and the requirement or the lack of requirement of an original Nintendo 64 console in order to get an EverDrive X series flash card working on your device. As well as that, you don't need to solder with this. So what happened, a little bit of backstory. When EverDrive support was added for the Analog 3D, there was a caveat that came with it. You needed an original Nintendo 64 console and you needed to put the flash card in there in order for it to become ready to use on the Analog 3D. If you didn't have an original Nintendo 64, well, you needed some soldering skills, some pretty simple soldering skills from what I understand. But if you're someone like me that's never really dabbled in soldering, then anything to do with soldering is scary. So some people out there had a Nintendo 64, some people out there didn't, but they were good at soldering, so they kind of got around that. They got their EverDrives working on the Analog 3D. If you're like me, I've got a Nintendo 64, so I'm good, but there are people out there that don't have a Nintendo 64 console handy and they're no good at soldering, and they specifically bought an EverDrive X series in order to use it with their Analog 3D. So I can guess that those people out there might be quite gutted. Well, guess what? There's some good news for you. So I saw this X post from this account that I follow, Recollect64. Follow this account, check out their blog. I would honestly say that this is the best place on the internet for any and everything Nintendo 64 related. These guys are freaking awesome. So this tweet here just reads, updating EverDrive 64 X series bootloader for Analog 3D without an OG or an original Nintendo 64 console. And when we go over to the post, which we are going to check. Let's scroll down a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so there's some stuff there where it talks about the EverDrive not being able to work, like obviously having to stick it in an original console, doing some soldering. But here we go. What we're looking at here is another method is possible that negates the need for an OG console to be involved and will merely cost you pennies. All you need is a resistor, but don't panic. It's an entirely solderless, completely reversible solution. So for those out there that can't solder, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I can get this working because I don't have access to a Nintendo 64 either. As Crix posted a couple of weeks ago, yes, just a resistor connected between 87 and ground. This is all you need to allow the cartridge bootloader to update. Check out the collated instructions below, and having a look at those, let's let me move my mouse across. So there you go, that's the resistor there, and that's a little image of where it kind of goes. So having a look at the images, the instructions below. So very simple, right? Update your SD card with the latest firmware, and everything's linked there. I will link this specific post and the tweet in the description, so do check this out for yourself. And then it just tells you bend the legs of the 1K resistor and slot them in next to 87 and ground pins. See the image above that we had a look at. Then test to ensure that your ED or your EverDrive 64 boots on the Analog 3D. Then power off and remove the EverDrive 64. Copy the bootloader to your SD card and run it on the Analog 3D. Remove the resistor from your EverDrive 64. Test again to make sure the EverDrive 64 boots on the Analog 3D. And that's really it. And they've revealed their source down here, and the source is actually from Crix's forum. So guys, do let me know what you think about this. Are you someone that's already updated with a Nintendo 64? Have you done a solder job? Or are you someone that was completely gutted thinking you haven't got either option? Is this third option good for you? So special thank you out to Recollect64. You guys are freaking awesome. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. Be freaking awesome to one another. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.